You swipe right on Tinder. I was on a blind date in a hip spot in a back alley in a very dark and deserted room. You might think I'm crazy, but I knew what was up, and I was so into the whole thing. That whole "I'll take you on the craziest date I can think of to see if you're cool enough to hang" challenge. The hottest boys always choose the wildest spots for dates, and I'd be a fool to turn down a face like his over a first date location that looked like it had been ransacked by punks and left for the demolition crew. It was almost too bad no one was here to see my conquest. That's the only thing I regretted about this cafe in which we sat, behind a window, papered over with a for lease sign. There was nothing to drink, and I was pretty sure the bar didn't even have running water. But fuck me, if he wasn't a tall glass of water himself, enough to slake any thirst. Dust had piled up on the tabletops, and the floors littered with spare cutlery and smashed dishes. I looked around expectantly. Surely the waiter was going to come. The man who had... excuse me. Sure, the waiter was going to be some man who wandered in pretending like he was too cool to take orders. It really had that whole "so cool it's literally a derelict abandoned building" vibe. He could try, but I didn't scare off that easily. If this was a test, I was going to pass with flying colors. I had to because, damn, he was an 11 out of 10 if there was such a thing. 6'5" at least, blonde, with hair that effortlessly fell from his forehead in a style vaguely reminiscent of James Dean, abs that rippled through his white t-shirt, lips that put Paul Newman to shame when he smiled. "Who's that?" he said, when I made the comparison, his beautiful, probably illiterate eyes dancing in the faint light of some distant corridor. Of course he didn't know who that was. I doubted he'd be able to spell his own name without assistance, the pretty fool. "Oh, you," I said, smacking his arm playfully, biting my lips like the coquette I was. "Of course you haven't heard of him. That's so adorable." "Is it?" he said, his eyes dancing. "But there's lots of things I don't know you can teach me." I giggled, covering my mouth with my hand. "Bet there is," I agreed. He extended one of his elegant fingertips to touch my throat. "Like the location where your heart is," he murmured. "Like exactly where it is." It beat faster at the very mention of itself. "You want me to show you?" I whispered. I took his palm and placed it flat above my chest. I wormed his fingers under the fabric of my shirt until his fingers brushed under my bra. My racing pulse throbbed under my skin like a bird about to take flight. "There," I said breathlessly as his hand grew warm against my bare skin. "Do you feel it?" "Yeah," he said, his lips curling up in a tight smile. "Wow." "I know what you want," I said, leaning across the table and kissing him full in the lips. "And I want to give it to you." He'd frozen in place at these words, and then he stood in his skin-tight jeans. I had only eyes for the thick, round object that protruded to the left of his fly. "Oh my God," I whispered. I was a river of want, lusting over its fat girth. "Just take me now." Okay," he said. He reached inside his pocket, and then I saw it. With a flick of the wrist, his switchblade was open. "Usually this is a lot harder," he said with a laugh. "But if you're into giving me your vital organs..." He pressed the blade against my throat. Oh, so that was how he wanted to play, was it? Like he was a fucking axe murderer. I giggled at the blade as it pricked at my skin as he held it there. Perhaps he was surprised that I didn't flinch. That I didn't forget for one moment to stop batting my eyes coquettishly. "Oh, I like this," he breathed. "So that's what kind of game you like to play. I dare you. Go on, give it to me." "My God," he said, no humor in his eyes whatsoever. They were cold as death. And then he looked at me. "I think you're fucking crazier than I am."